You'll understand the big...
They're being affected by the burst water main in Tottenham Railway System. GLR at Scotland Yard.
I'm just on my way to rehearsals. I'm with the National Shakespeare Company at the moment.
Morning, Mr. Craig.
Morning, Trevor. 3 weeks away from the first night, and I still haven't learnt the last act. A lot of problems with the character at the moment. I'm very worried about how I could make Geroncio real. How can I make him live for the audience? I can't, of course. There's no such character. And there's no such organisation as the National Shakespeare Company, and this is not my road. Okay, relax, everybody. And when you think about it, the idea of me not knowing the last act 3 weeks before previews stretches credibility somewhat. In fact, none of what you just saw was real. And yet, you believed it. Why? How was it done? Preparation, hard graft, and more hard graft. You believed it because all of us here who worked on the sequence desperately wanted you to believe it. We spent 3.5 absurdly frantic weeks researching, arguing, and generally tearing our hair out, so that by the time we came to shoot it, Nick's walk was as real to us as it was to you. So, the secret of acting in all its forms, televisual, theatrical, topical, historical, televisual, Sunday afternoon serial historical, the secret of acting is authenticity. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this programme. Contemporary realism makes enormous demands on the performer's resources. But perhaps the ultimate challenge for the actor is the authentic recreation of the past. To transport an audience back through time, the actor must attune his entire body to the rhythms of the past. He must become, in short, a time machine. An actardis, if you like. This platform at Bewdley in Worcestershire is where some of the most startlingly authentic period performances begin and end. Come here any day of the week, and you'll see actors getting on and off trains with uncanny historical accuracy. Here, we see Michael York, a real master of the platform walk, rolling back the decades with every step. And if you're alone on the platform, you must make maximum use of the space. Now that we've effectively carried the audience back through the mists of time, we've used a red train, let's have a look in a little more detail at some of the specific historical situations that the actor will have to bring to life in performance. Perhaps the most challenging halcyon milieu of all for the actor is Oxford and Cambridge in the Golden Age. Oxbridge acting requires a vast range of physical skills on both land and water. First and foremost amongst these is, of course, quad walking.
Oxford, the home of lost causes and impossible ideals.
We need to feel the yielding ancient grass beneath the performer's feet. The gown needs to billow out in the scented breeze, gusting sweetly off the groves of academe.
To me, this place is still full of an inexpressible charm.
Remember, it's essential to show the human side of Oxbridge life. The audience don't want dusty libraries and examination rooms. They want burgeoning friendships. They want wistfulness. They want Harris Tweed. They want a sense of time suspended and great vats of honey still for tea. High-quality punting skills, too, are essential. To evoke the past on the river, the actor must be languorous and slow in his movements, handling the pole and the parasol with the measured precision of a solo violinist. Varsity acting can be absolutely maddening for the actor because it's almost impossible to acquire all the special techniques while you're still young enough to play the parts. However, most writers and directors were educated at Oxford and Cambridge, and they're always on hand to ensure rigorous accuracy. Oh! Ragging and camaraderie is an integral feature of life up at the Varsity, and if an Oxbridge performance is to be really convincing, the actor has to be able to convey the boisterousness of gilded youth. Oh, tea time! As an actor, of course, one abhors the class system, but when playing a character who moves in the upper echelons of the jeunesse dorée, the actor has to suppress his anarchic, radical beliefs in the interests of his craft and, that word again, authenticity. Ah, now this is a place I can really relate to. The authentic recreation of the historic North is a challenge every actor relishes. I've got a lot of actor mates who hail from up north, and I've always been besotted with the place. There's something about the crisp northern air that makes you want to call a spade the moment you step off the chuff-chuff.
Your cable was almost a relief. If we had to have a financial crisis, then it couldn't have come at a better time.
I'm a southerner myself, but I always give a yelp for joy when I'm offered a period northern role. I can't wait to get my teeth into a gritty tyke or a canny Geordie, and I've always been a bit of a stickler for correct northern technique. On the platform or the cobbled street, the northern walk needs to be proud and erect. It requires intense concentration because northern life in the last century was so terrifically full of communal activity. In the north, folk were brave and proud. Reet Channock, as they say. And despite the appalling poverty and squalor of their circumstances, they were often every bit as attractive as characters who lived in London.
Master don't want a festering puss squirt in his dishes.
May I trouble you for a little more beef?
There's no more I can do to stop you.
They were above all practical people with a no-nonsense approach to life and an absolute passion for waistcoats.
3 days extra pay for every man. Hey, those rascals know what they're about, don't they?
Well, the shareholders, what about the shareholders? What about them?
Is there an article of clothing more redolent of the north than toot waistcoat? It can be thrust out to indicate prosperity, or used in conjunction with the watch to show impatience or disapproval, or simply as somewhere to rest your horny hand.
It's funny. Normally an old devil like that just annoys the hell out of you.
So what now?
Modern drama has never found a workable successor to the waistcoat, and many actors mourn its passing. In fact, for any period performance, the waistcoat is perhaps the most expressive garment in the entire wardrobe.
You ready now, are you?
You seem to think I'm going to hang around every evening for hours on end, smiling at their stupid wives while you sit there drinking.
Some would say that the dramatic recreation of bygone eras is a trick. Well, it is, but only in the sense that all great art is a trick. The most colossal creative talents in history all used a degree of artifice to achieve their effects. And nearly all of them travelled by train. The world of art, music and letters, as chaotic and unpredictable in the past as it is now. A madcap whirl of danger, creativity and cravats. Of course, as actors, we have a fierce affinity with our bohemian forebears, and they're an absolute joy to play because we can invest the characterization with so much of our own roguish vagabondage. However, When we're dealing with real historical characters, people who actually lived, we have a tremendous responsibility, a responsibility to history itself.
I'm Rossetti, but please call me Gabriel.
Mr. Oscar Wilde.
I am William Morris, writer and artisan.
Lord Alfred Douglas.
Miss Beatrix Potter. My name is... This is Mrs. Lily Langtry.
William Pullman Hunter.
This is the Marquis of Queensberry.
You must be Rambo.
My name is Bazille.
This is Charles Cros, inventor.
Artist and a gentleman.
Poet.
This is my friend, Renoir.
I am the wrath of history!
Are you, by any chance, Stanley Spencer?
Just like actors, these great people were larger-than-life figures. They felt more deeply, were more sensitive, more loving, more talented, and more hard-working than all the businessmen in history. And yet, like actors, time and time again, they were completely trodden on and totally ignored. The 19th century was extremely hard for the citizens of Bohemia, and many cracked under the strain. So we can see that life was an uphill struggle for the giants of the arts. Plus ça change. But the actor must take care to present a balanced image. It would be quite wrong to suggest that all was gloom and doom in the garrets and salons of Bohemia, because it wasn't. There was a tremendous amount of ragging and camaraderie in the Belle Epoque.
What? I kill you! Don't hit me! Don't! I'll never fight! I'll never let the fuck like you! He's a writer.
An hour of glorious life is worth an age without a name. Might well be the motto of Bohemia. Many a great artist died before his time. This was not only a tragic loss to art, but it effectively rules out the possibility of a second series. There is one other very important aspect of the authentic recreation of the past, which we haven't yet touched on.
You are too violent, too loud, too omnipresent. You vibrate. You're like a steam engine.
Dialogue. The rhythms and speech patterns of the past were quite different from our own, and to convey them requires discipline, drilling, a larynx like leather, and lots of lickety-split lip work.
The prinkum-prankum!
Let's just hear that again, this time noting the breath control and the superb colour in the glottal stops.
The prinkum-prankum!
Smashing metastrophe. Now let's see how an actor handles period dialogue out of vision. This time a sixdental dactyl.
So there were taters weren't intending to.
And again.
So there were taters weren't intending to.
Now let's look at a longer line.
He's no more like our regulars than a canary is like one of them cocky little spadgers.
Now, what we have here is a classic case of the prolapsed bilabial iamb.
He's no more like our regulars than a...
The actor inserts the iamb here to give himself extra power through the analogy.
Canary is like one of them cocky little spadgers.
I say, why didn't the troops have any pudding last night?
Arrivals and departures are the crucial turning points in any full-blown period performance. A character's destiny can be decided by a casual remark at the footplate or ticket barrier.
Would you like some sweets?
What a marvellous job that chap has. Every day he has a ringside view of a different actor going through an emotional sea change. And he gets paid. Lucky bloke. I'm never happier than when I'm evoking yesteryear. In fact, if I couldn't spend at least 6 weeks a year in a moustache and frock coat, I think they'd have to come and take me away. But let's end our voyage in the Actardis where we began. In the present. Now that we've examined the historical rebirthing of the actor more closely, let's take another look at the baby that was so lovingly born to us all here in this room. Our opening sequence. Traditional waistcoat work in a contemporary setting. Trevor. 3 weeks away from the first night, and I still haven't learnt...
Here we find state-of-the-art camaraderie combined with a carousal straight out of the Belle Epoque.
A lot of problems with the character. I'm very worried about how I can make Geroncio real. How can I make him live for the audience?
He's no more like one of our regulars, and a canary's like one of them cocky little spatches.
The fundamental essence of authenticity, and indeed of existence itself, is hard graft, correct use of costume, and 100% dedication to total realism. Okay. Relax, everybody. Thank you. Well done. Even that took several weeks to rehearse. And so did that. And that one was an absolute nightmare.
Rainforest.